Not for long. He's changing this. One, two. Get on stage.
Start. Press.
Nice.
Rack. Ricky finished with a hell of a PR at 160 pounds, pulled, it was almost 570. It was almost 570 in pounds. Epic pull. They called him on having soft knees, the lockout, but damn, that was a good ass pull.
Happy with how I did that.
So congrats to Ricky for killing it performance-wise. I believe he got 6th out of a pretty stacked class. I forget how many people there were in it. Had he pulled that deadlift and gotten whites on it, I think that would have allowed him to medal. I can't remember what place it would have put him at, but all the top 5 were very neck and neck. Awesome competition. Big shout out to Mike Z and Eric for putting on these events at Masslift. The Masslift community, all the New England events under the USAPL. Awesome community. I love those guys. And Northeast Regionals was crazy this year. As far as USAPL goes on the big scale, though, not talking about the mass lift community, I'm talking about just the national federation that is the USAPL now. I think I am going to pull the plug on supporting them, at least for right now. I'm not in love with what they are becoming business-wise, and I'll get into all of that at the very end of the video. And I want to remind everybody, I'm saying this as somebody who has heavily supported the USAPL. Out of 6 meets, 5 of them have been USAPL, and I've loved competing in the federation all this time. I'll get into exactly what I'm talking about at the end of this video. 385 on the front squat. Warming up with these heavy singles before diving into our working sets. They make the working sets feel so much better. I recommend everyone tries them. You don't have to go super heavy. I am, because I want to see if I can work back into the 400s on front squats again at this lighter body weight. They definitely feel heavier being back in the 180s, but I think some of it's just me having to get re-familiar with the technique again since I haven't done them in a bit. On a side note, I have found front squats to be tremendously helpful with quad development and ab development, because they force you to keep a tight core, like a really tight core, more so than regular squats. Another fun fact, when it comes to exercises for legs that are not free weight and balance isn't an issue, I actually like using flat-soled shoes like my Anis, which I usually use for deadlifting. Link for these bad boys is in the info box below, but it allows me to really connect my feet and heels into the ground better. Yet again, multiple lights set up, multiple cameras set up, yet another video, this time with Prosecco. She's doing the Prosecco. I want to thank you guys so much for the support, man. She got hit with some trolls a while back, and it pisses me off to no end because she's been off YouTube for almost a year. She lost everything. She got in a bad car accident, hit by a drunk driver, destroyed her shoulders, been out of commission, hasn't been able to work, can't wrestle. She was doing actual shows, now she can't wrestle. Like, had everything taken away from her. And now she, just to keep her mind healthy and exercise her mind, she reads and writes all the time. And she's having some fun doing book reviews. The most harmless genre you could ever imagine on YouTube, book reviews. And these asshole trolls still go and spam her videos with dislikes from like the past years when she was doing wrestling and stuff. Like, that's so shitty, but you guys were awesome, man. I showed you guys on Instagram, and a lot of you went and supported with likes on her videos, which was great. And her first 2 videos already have a couple of thousand views already after a couple of days, which is amazing. So I did all the editing and the filming on them, and she enjoys doing what she does.
Thank you. This is one of my like secret obsessions, so it's just really fun for me right now.
So whatever the most recent video of hers out is will be in the info box below if you want to check it out. At the very least, just give her a thumbs up and support her and even me with my editing.
Thank you, everyone.
I am not the brightest potato in the bunch by any means, but I did make myself a promise when I was younger. When I started getting money, I wanted to buy property before I bought a fun sports car or any sort of car that was just fun. And I made myself do that, and at 25 I bought this property to be rented out, as you guys know. And I just want to say I'm reflecting right now, and on days like this where it's just beautiful weather and I can come out on my own deck, sit down and edit in my quiet ass backyard beside somebody leaf blowing, it makes me so happy I made that decision. Until I get in my old Dodge Magnum that doesn't have AC anymore, then I'm kind of like, I should have gotten the car. So back to the matter at hand, the USAPL. I want to quickly reiterate, every single medal on this wall is from a USAPL meet. I've supported the federation and competed in it nonstop, almost exclusively for the past half a decade. So I love the federation. There's so many positive aspects of the federation. It's a great federation. It definitely sets the standard competition-wise. 2-hour weigh-ins, the same barbell for every movement, the strictest commands, drug testing. It definitely makes it the most legitimate sport-wise, which is good for helping the sport of powerlifting rise out of the shadows. It allows people to take it more serious and gives it more recognition. The drug testing thing alone is a benefit too, because despite the argument that drug testing doesn't equal drug-free, drug testing at least is more favorable to the mainstream. And this opens up a lot of doors for publicity and recognition for both lifters, teams, and the sport as a whole. And all around, I just love competing in the USAPL. There's so many awesome lifters I've become friends with in the federation. It's a great federation. They've become greedier and greedier as the years went on, and I ignored that because honestly, that's just how all sports and all federations of any genre go. That's how the world works. A federation grows, it becomes more greedy, more corrupt. No way around that. So I ignored it, right? Because it was still awesome competing in the USAPL. But recently they made a move that I felt was like a real slap in the face. Really rubbed me the wrong way and really turned me off of the federation. It made me as a consumer not want to bring my business to this federation anymore. They recently laid down a rule stating that no nice cameras with detachable lenses, no camera bags, no tripods will be allowed at USAPL Raw Nationals inside the venue. Nationals is the most prestigious event in the country, and they're not allowing anybody to basically get really nice footage or photos of their own lifts. This is because they allowed another media team to come in and be the designated media team for this event. So now if you want high-end footage or high-end photos of your lifts, you have to pay that media team for them. They're going to be covering the entire event. I'm sure what happened here is this media team probably paid the promoter and the USAPL a good amount of money for this spot, and in return the USAPL helped the media team out by banning all nice cameras, making it so they were the only ones who will be able to get really high-end footage. So it basically forces the lifters to buy from them if they want really nice footage and photos, which most lifters are going to want to do because again, it's USAPL Raw Nationals. It's not just some random local meet in a gym. It's a big deal. I might be taking this a little bit more personally as a content creator, I'm sure, but I actually feel worse for the people that aren't content creators, because at least we can write off the entire trip as a business expense and still vlog around it. But the average Joe, think about this, if I were to fly from the Northeast over to the Northwest where it's going to be held, the West Coast, it would cost you about $2,000 for the entire trip when everything's all said and done. The flight, hotel for multiple days, the ever-increasing entry fees, getting my coach in, which is becoming more expensive now as well, food for the entire time I'm there, etc., etc., etc. I'm probably paying like $2,000 total when everything's all said and done, well over $1,000 at the very least, to compete in the biggest competition of my life. And now if I want just a good quality photo or video to remember this really expensive moment that just drained my bank account, I have to pay more money for it. That's ridiculous for no reason other than to line the pockets of the media team and the USAPL. I get it, growing a federation is expensive, so I understand having to increase the entry fees every year. I understand having to increase the cost of getting in backstage to handle somebody. I get all that. It's expensive to drug test, it's expensive to buy new equipment, it's expensive to get these nicer venues, I get all that. But to ban nice cameras, there's no other motive behind that than just the quick buck of that event, because you know you're going to capitalize on people wanting photos and videos of the most prestigious meet they've ever competed in, and now you're forcing them to spend money on that after they just spent like $2,000 to come compete at your event. To me, that's a big slap in the face. And again, this is on top of a bunch of things that have added up that I don't like. There's been times where promoters have booked out an entire hotel and then upcharged every single room and made it mandatory that the competitors stay in that hotel, which is sleazy, and just things like that over the years. But this one really rubbed me the wrong way. So I'm not trying to rally anybody against the USAPL, and I'm not even trying to diss them. I'm just saying, for me personally, this is why I am signing off of the USAPL, at least for right now. I may be back to them in the future. I'll definitely keep my eyes open. I'll keep an open mind. I've enjoyed competing in their meets, but that really rubbed me the wrong way. And just as a consumer, I don't want to support them and bring my business to them right now. I'd rather find another federation. Because at the end of the day, the biggest question you have to ask yourself is, what are you getting? What value are you getting in return for all this money you're spending and all these sacrifices you're making? The NPC is bodybuilding. They're an example of a federation that also got really greedy and money hungry and kind of ridiculous over the years. But there's at least some incentive and value to be earned there. You could potentially win your IFBB Pro card, which can potentially allow you to win large cash prizes and high-paying sponsorships. Like, there's some value to be earned there that makes the sacrifice and the money you're spending worth it. It's not guaranteed, but there's at least the incentive. With the USAPL, for most of us, for the average Joe, there's nothing to gain from it except the medal and a huge dent in your bank account. All just to say you competed or placed at a certain event, which is cool. But again, this is the age of 2018. Let's be real. Larry Wheels goes more viral, gets more notoriety and recognition, and makes more money with every single Instagram post with a deadlift bar that he makes than any of us do at any federation. So that's just, as a consumer, man, I think that was a slap in the face, and I don't care to support that at this point in time. Definitely open to hear your thoughts on it. I'm keeping an open mind. I know my opinion's a little extreme. Curious to hear what you think about the whole thing. Let me know in the info box below, in the comments below. I'm tired. I go to bed.